Hey, this is Matt, and I'm here to give you tutorial number 5 in the Advanced Programming tutorial series. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to add sound to your newly added turret enemy. And I'm also going to make movement for the player a little bit easier, so if you're having trouble moving your player around, that's going to be a good improvement. So let's get started. First, we're going to go to our player sprites, and we're just going to modify mask, manual, and we're just going to zoom in a little bit. Select disk, and then just draw a disk that's kind of in the center of the player. And then I'm just going to adjust these numbers a little bit. If you just play around with it, you'll get it eventually. So let's try 28 here. Okay, so that looks pretty good right there. We just want a little ring on the outside, just like what we did for the enemies. So we want 3 on the side and 28 on that side. Remember those numbers. Click OK. We're going to go into player left, modify mask, manual, disk, and then we'll say 3, 3, 28, 28. And as long as you remember those numbers, it makes it a lot faster than doing it manually every time. So manual, disk, 3, 3, 28, 28. Click OK. And then for the last one, modify mask, manual, disk, 3, 3, 28, 28. So now for all our players, we have a little ring of not colliding around. So I'll just show you really quick what that does if we run our game. It makes it so it's a lot easier to like line up going out of a doorway and such. Because you can see that you have just that little bit of room now to move around. So yeah, our game's getting pretty good, and right now I'm just going to show you how to add sound to your turret enemies. Now, you might think this would be pretty easy. So I got another laser sound. It's like this. And I thought that would be pretty good for a turret. So what we're going to do with that sound is we're going to apply it to our turret. So at alarm 0, we want to play sound, because alarm 0 is when it shoots. We're going to play sound laser. And we're also going to do that at create, because it also shoots when it's created. So let's try this. So this is all good, but the only problem with this is that here, I'll exit out so you can hear me. The only problem with this is that if, let's say you spawn and there's not a turret in your view and you hear shooting, it's like we're really going to want to play through like half the level before we actually find the turret that's shooting. So we really only want to play the sound when the turret is in our view. So this really isn't that hard to do. We're going to go into the turret, and we're going to say add event, other, views, and we're going to say outside view 0. Then we're going to control instead of variable called play underscore sound equals 0. So if we're outside the view, we're not going to play our sound. And in our step event, we're going to drag up another variable, and we're going to say play underscore sound equals 1. Now how this works is the step event can always be overridden by another event. So the step event will say play sound is 1, but if we're outside the view, it's going to say play sound is 0. So outside view 0 is going to override step, but we always want to set it back to 1. So when it is inside our view, it does play the sound. Now if that doesn't make any sense, that's okay. You'll understand it eventually. And right now we're just going to get this to work. So we're going to drag out our test variable block, and we're going to put it right above the sound. We're going to say if variable play underscore sound is equal to value 1, And if you didn't know, 1 and 0 are pretty much like yes and no. Like 1 is yes, 0 is no. So, just a little programming fact there. Now we're just going to put it around place sound laser. Start a block and end a block. So if place sound is equal to 1, we're going to place sound laser. So I'm just going to copy this if block. We're going to go in the line 0, paste it there, so it's above the sound. And then we're just going to put it like that. So we're only going to play if we're inside the room. So to test this, I'm going to delete this object turret. So there is not going to be a turret when we first start. So you can see it's nice, all peace and quiet now, even though our turret is technically shooting. But if we go down, you can hear our turret shooting. So that was a little complicated, but it does add a lot of quality to your game, because normally you wouldn't be able to hear things that far away anyway. So, that is the end of this tutorial. So, I guess subscribe, and add this to your favorites, and just stay tuned for the rest of our tutorials, because eventually this game is going to be, you're going to have all the tools you need to make any game you could dream of. So, just have fun with Game Maker, guys.